So, I guess we're going to start recording in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Xbox Uncut's weekly podcast. Dustin. No, because it still has a beef core.
It does.
I would argue the beef core is what really makes a burrito. Burritos are amazing, and they should all... And I'm not talking about those dollar store, like, burritos. I'm talking about a real burrito. It's just amazing.
Halo Wars 2.
Okay.
I think we might see a CG trailer. If not, it's going to be something Halo related. But I'm thinking, if it's mind-blowing, it can't be something Halo 5. Because they have already showed off most of Halo 5 already. I can't believe there's another mind-blowing feature. And Forge being announced is not mind-blowing. Forge has been around for a while.
Kind of easy levels, and I'll be honest, I kind of thought that I was pretty good at M+. I was the shit. I was good, and I'm proud of my...
And then you found out you were shit.
I was proud of my achievements, if you know what I'm chasing.
And the thing is, though, I don't give a shit either way. Like, if I want to play Street Fighter 5, I'll play it on PS4. I want to play Tomb Raider, I'll play it on Xbox One or PC. Yeah, either one for both of them. But it's just, you know, it's an exclusive. Exclusives happen. Third-party money has happened. I don't give a shit.
Welcome to Xbox Uncut's weekly podcast. We're back on a Tuesday to cover Gamescom, to give our reactions, to look at this amazing week in video games. And I'm joined by two special people in my heart, because these are the two people we have breaks in the show specifically to ask them how they're doing, and they're the only ones here. So I don't know. I guess we still got to do those segments, no matter what.
We're your rocks.
Yeah, you're my rocks. And before I even introduce him, how are you doing, Steve?
I'm good, thanks, Dustin. You know, it's a good show by Microsoft earlier. Bit tired, but you know, I'm powering through.
I'm good. And that is Steve Rules from SteveRules.com.
Well, Steve had something to say before we get started.
Oh, Steve, you know what? Take the floor, Steve.
It was about last week, yeah.
So last week we had a letter. I think it was from old No Bones, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I apologise if I've got that wrong. That asked us what the worst sort of Microsoft published games that we'd played were, and I said Fusion Frenzy 2 and Brute Force. And you know, I've thought about it for some reason this week, and I realised actually those are by far and away not the worst two Microsoft games I've played. Which actually goes to Loco Cycle and D4, because Loco Cycle is just a horrible mishmash of ideas that culminate in a game so bad that you do feel like you have to finish it, but for no possible reason. It's just, God, it's just dreadful, and I really just hated D4. I just hate it.
I gotta disagree. Those are
Didn't like
not.
it.
They're not the worst. They're not the best.
Have you played?
I finished both D4 and Loco Cycle.
Did you get? I
had a strong love-hate relationship with Loco Cycle, though. Like one minute I was like, "Whoa, this is the coolest game ever," and the next minute I would think this is the worst game I've ever played. It was very inconsistent. I understand that much, and I understand your criticism too about feeling like you have to finish it even though you don't really want to.
Well, no, but it had that strange allure to it of I should finish this.
It did. It did. And the final sequence was pretty awesome. If you were into those old like video sequences from the Sega CD and 3DO games, which were pretty cool back in the day, so it was a nice shout out to that. I enjoyed that.
But yeah, I still hated it.
I can't put that on the worst though, man. That's better than Brute Force. Try playing Brute Force again, seriously, or watch a playthrough.
But then Brute Force then gets sort of unfairly criticised because it was a game that came out 11 years ago.
A long time ago, I know.
But it was still awful a long time ago.
It was.
But Loco Cycle was still awful now.
No, but if you're gonna root it off that, if Loco Cycle came out when Brute Force did, would you still rate it as a low game?
I think I would probably still be sitting there thinking, what on earth is this? Why did
it's a crazy game. But D4, I mean, D4's not terrible. It's an interesting game.
I know that it gets a lot of love, but you know that I just did not like it. It's just it just is not for me.
Yeah.
You know what? Just isn't for you either. Vern, welcome to the show, Vern. The one and only, the Golden Throat.
Thank you for introducing me, Dustin.
I had to get it in there. Like, Steve would have just went on and on and on without introducing the wonderful Vern.
Well, I didn't want to ask him how he was at that point because I didn't want, him to then be upset at.
No, Steve. I was never going to crush your segment by doing Vern's segment in it.
I appreciate that.
Like last week, I did. I literally had Vern's segment, put yours in the middle of Vern's segment, and then continued on. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about old bad Xbox games. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about Gamescom and about how Microsoft is supporting the European audience.
And how they won Gamescom.
And how they're the only person to show up to Gamescom. I mean, won Gamescom.
I mean, I guess you could compare third parties. Then you have EA and Square, but those conferences aren't going to be that good. Yeah.
Like, they blew their load at E3.
At E3, yeah.
After E3, also, they were blowing their load on other people's stages. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
They weren't going to have a Gamescom like Microsoft did.
Yeah, Square will show Final Fantasy 15. That'll be cool, I guess, if you're into that. Kind of over Final Fantasy now.
And then EA, Final Fantasy
I don't know what
7 for Xbox
EA is going
One.
to show gameplay of Mirror's Edge. That's their big thing, I think. So.
All right. Well,
yeah.
We're not doing letters this week.
Nope.
We decided to be strictly Gamescom.
So are we just going to go straight through the top of the conference?
Yeah, we're going to... Jason wrote down a list of things for me, so I'm going to read through it. I gave you all the show notes, so if y'all want to add anything, we'll go ahead and add it. But I would like to stress, please write us at letters@xboxuncut.com. We only have one letter so far for next week. I need more letters. I need them. Vern needs
some Gamescom reactions.
I'm illiterate. Vern's helping me to read, so the more letters you send, the more I'll learn.
It's not true. I would never help Dustin to read.
Shut up, Vern. I was trying to get sympathy letters.
I gotta keep my advantage, my leg up.
Oh, yeah. It's true. It's true. And that's why he's muted. All right, and... Well, no. Let's just go into Gamescom. Let's talk about Quantum Break gameplay demo and TV show preview. All right, I'm going to be honest. I barely watched any of the show. I skimmed through it at lunch. I came directly home after work. And here I am. So tell me about all these action stars in Quantum Break, Vern.
I don't have the names in front of me right now. I'm going to look them up now.
This is compelling stuff. Steve.
Here we go.
Any names?
No. I got it here.
Okay.
All right. Sean Ashmore is the lead. He is Jack Joyce. So it's not the Phil Spencer lookalike guy that is the main character.
So what's happened is the Phil Spencer lookalike guy is still in the game.
Yes.
He is just no longer the main character. He now plays a different character. So Phil Spencer has not been cut.
Right. It's Sean Ashmore, though, who is the lead of this game. That's who's playing Jack Joyce. And you may remember him from X-Men Days of Future Past. He is the Iceman, right? I believe. And I think he was... Was he Jimmy Olsen in the Man of Steel movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, wait a second.
No.
That's his brother, right? Because him and his twin brother always get confused.
That's right. He has a twin brother.
He has a twin brother. It's one
of them. This is the one from Days of Future Past, and he was also. I want to say this is also the same one that was in.
Is it District 13?
The following, maybe.
No, that's his brother.
That's his brother. Okay.
His brother is in the Sci-Fi Channel shows. And he's done Smallville.
Okay. But this is Iceman. That's what we know.
It's confusing, people. It's confusing. They're twin brothers. All right.
Right. And then there's also Aidan Gillen. He plays Littlefinger on Game of Thrones. He's the bad guy. So that's pretty cool.
He looks cool, actually. I think he's one of the bad guys.
Yeah, Lance Reddick, who is from Fringe and The Wire. Really cool guy. Those are the big names. There's also someone from Lost, Dominic Monaghan. I never did watch Lost. So,
and
yeah.
he's one of the hobbits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Is
about.
it Pippin?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
It's Pippin.
No, actually, no. Sorry, I think he's Merry.
Wait.
But yeah,
Yes, you're right.
And he actually plays the brother of the main character.
Yes, of Jack Joyce. He plays William Joyce.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got a big cast. So this is a pretty big deal. Doesn't look like they're trying to save money on the production of the TV show portion of this game. So the trailer looked pretty cool too.
Fantastic.
The combat looked awesome. I saw it before the show. I love the whole. They have machines or whatever, so if time stops, that they can continue to go and fight you, and like, you saw him like speeding around and jumping over and everything being frozen, but like the enemies would disappear as time slowly moved, and they would be like almost in their own time bubble.
Well, yeah, the enemies were able to stop time and or kind of force not being stopped. You know what I mean?
But you saw them like they would disappear and like appear like 20 feet away, like as I guess they froze their own time bubble. And
yeah, it looks really confusing, honestly. Like when I was watching it, I was thinking, man, this could be pretty crazy. How are we gonna keep track of all this? But I'm sure we saw a part of the game that was later in the game. Yeah,
like it needs to be like 3 people on screen at a time, and that way you're able to keep up with what's going on. Because like anything more than that, I think it would be just too confusing, like you're saying.
Yeah, all the effects going on though, it was absolutely nuts. I'd never seen anything like it.
Looks cool.
Looks really cool. We didn't learn much about the story other than what? There's 2 brothers in the game and there's bad guys.
Well, I think they're trying to keep some things for the next sort of 8 months.
We got a launch date, yeah.
Yeah, which is April 5th.
6th or 5th? I don't remember.
Pretty sure it's 5th.
I wish it was on the 1st.
April 5th, yeah, you're right.
I wish it wasn't April.
I know. So,
look, wait a second.
This is going to be before or after Uncharted 4?
It doesn't matter. All I got to say is
before.
You're going to have so many games to play this winter, Steve. You're going to be wishing this game was later. That's all I'm saying. So many things.
But I would swap all of Microsoft 5 games this holiday to just play Quantum Break instead.
Yeah, no.
I'm surprised. I'm just saying Fallout's going to be taking up most of your life.
I'm surprised it's on April 5th. You think they would have tried to push it up by like 5 days or something to get it within the fiscal year, but I guess they're not worried about that, right?
But the thing is, I don't think it's as much of a problem I don't think Microsoft ever
worries about that.
Think of their game releases that way, because the company, when you look at like someone like EA, their entire business,
they're just a video game company. Yeah,
they're just a video game company, so they have to get the games out in those periods. Whereas because I mean, Microsoft could just, Xbox.
The game division could be written off, and it would be like, yeah, that's whatever. We're moving on. Like it's whatever.
So I think it showed confidence that they were just like, yep, you know what, if that's the date they want to hit, let's go.
It's true.
So, but I mean, the cast sounds really good. It sounds like a big, huge production, and it's remedying the gameplay. It's like I saw people complaining at the first that it was too easy, but I don't think what they realised is that the very first enemies that you fight are just like regular soldiers. So obviously you're just gonna, wreck their shit up, and then all of a sudden you have the Monarch soldiers come in that have the technology to get through all the time stuff, and then that's when the sort of challenge arose, and that's fine.
And they're going to make this game to where it's accessible for new people, and you could play it on a harder mode for people who want to have that hardcore play. So I'm not worried about difficulty. Like, I mean, we saw what they did with Alan Wake. They had the difficulty mode that changed based on how you played, but there also was a hard mode as well. So I'm sure they'll have something like that.
I don't know how to describe it. One thing about Quantum Break, okay. When I play a game, okay, I just sit there, play a game, get to the end of the level, I just want to play the next level. The thing about Quantum Break is that once you get to the end of the level, you go into the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, the thing is, they haven't quite said how long these episodes are going to last. So, I mean, maybe they're only like 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe they're like 20 to 30 minutes.
I
But
think they can't go longer than about 20 minutes, I'd guess.
but the thing is, and that's not too bad. But I just because I know like doesn't Metal Gear Solid 4 have like one that's like an hour or something. But it's obviously you don't want that. But I'm just not sure if. And I know the story is, the big thing, but and the story affects the game, and the game affects the TV show, or whatever. I just
Right.
wonder if that splitting it up is going to be a bit of a sort of flow killer.
It won't be if the story is good enough and if the TV show portions are short enough. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't think they can go over 20 minutes. I'm guessing it's going to be shorter because if what you do in the game is changing what you see in the TV show, that means they're going to have to film a lot of different outcomes likely. So that means they also have to cut, you know?
Mm.
So I'm not worried yet. I'm going to wait and see.
Yeah, it's just the other thing I would say is that if I were them, I would give an option to say, to do a not your first playthrough, but a playthrough of hey, just play the game.
I think each gameplay section unlocks a video and you can skip it or you don't have to watch it. Didn't he say something like that? Sam Lake said that a long time ago.
I don't know, I can't remember, but it's like that's the problem that the Order had. The Order because they were QTEs and I mean the game had other problems, but the fact is that the game is a set length because you couldn't skip any of the individual stuff. If I'm playing it for sort of second or third time, I might not necessarily want to sit there and watch it. But I mean, I'm not being funny. If they're doing pretty good, if the only thing I'm a bit concerned about is the sort of pacing and the flow of the game. So I mean, look phenomenal.
It looked very polished compared to the other stuff they showed him, even stuff at E3. So
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
You could tell they pushed back for just polish, just to make it awesome.
Yeah, and they're going all in on this game. This isn't a half-ass production. This is their next big thing.
And
obviously.
It doesn't feel rushed at all. Like it just
No.
like this is
Microsoft wants
huge.
this to be big, and if it is big, they'll stick with it. So you can tell that.
But that's something else we saw a lot is a huge commitment to first-party studios and first-party budget and keeping everything in-house and not having third-party deals. Because they did mention that before the show, how they're gonna. It's not part of Gamescom news, but they said they're gonna cut all their third-party kind of big publishing aspects and go straight for first-party development specifically.
Well, Phil Spencer it was a China Joy interview.
Yeah.
Pretty much said that the focus will be on first party, and it doesn't mean they won't do any third party stuff.
No, but
we won't see as much of it. So, and I mean, you could be a bit cynical and just say, oh, that's just because they're not the leader, so they can't get the third party deals. But I don't think that's the case. It's just something that's been started a long time ago.
But then, I mean, Andrew House, the CEO of PlayStation, also said that even they were struggling to get deals,
right,
for third parties. So it seems like as much as there is that sales gap, I think the Xbox One Plus PC is very, is a very attractive proposition for third parties. But it's just a case of, the fact that they'll pick these deals, when the right one sort of presents itself. But they probably won't be walking around third parties saying, walking into rooms and throwing briefcases of money at people because they'd rather throw that at things that they can own and develop and improve themselves, which is the best policy. You need to strike a good balance. And I do think that they should do these deals, but the right deals, the ones that fill a gap in the portfolio.
Honestly, they've hit a pretty good balance lately. Like for launch, they went a little crazy with not keeping IPs and making more deals instead of actually doing things internally. But I think they did that just to get the games out at launch. But you can definitely see a long-term plan happening now.
Mm.
And then trying to reposition Rare, as a hardcore game maker now is also part of that process.
Did we read Michael's comment?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I was eating pizza, zoning out. I apologize.
He said, didn't Lake say the story of the show and of the game were separate but intertwined? Yes, they are, because the story of the game follows, what's his name again? Joyce.
Jack Joyce.
Jack Joyce. And then the story in the TV shows follows the villains. So they are separate, but they're connected in the way that things you do in the game will change the story in the TV show.
Well, didn't they say that it wasn't going to change the actual video of the show? It's just
it'll show a different video.
I thought they said it was how you perceive the video in the show will seem totally different with your choices. I could be wrong,
Maybe.
but that's what I remember back in the day them saying is it would change your perception of what's going on. You'll look at the videos differently.
Maybe that could be it too. But I thought they affected it, but we'll have to do some research on that again. But yeah, they are separate and they are intertwined.
All right, and that was about Quantum Break. I know that was broken out, but I wanted to read that.
8 months tomorrow.
I'm excited for it.
But who's counting?
I'm counting.
Quantum Break looks awesome. If anything, after this Gamescom, you went, wow, Microsoft has a great 2016 lined up. Like it's going to be amazing.
Yes, which we'll get to now.
Yes.
What's next?
Crackdown gameplay demo, 100% destructible environments coming in 2016. So we saw multiplayer, right?
We did,
and we
saw the cloud in action.
Yes, we saw a giant building collapse while somebody running beside it, blowing it up. And you were just like, wow, that looks really fucking cool. I can't wait to do that in multiplayer.
And the building fell and destroyed other buildings. And it was really
awesome because the building fell over another building, but it collapsed around it.
Yes.
Like, in a realistic way.
And it was really cool seeing characters run around in all this damage and mayhem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was pretty damn cool.
It was fucking awesome. And
it looks very early, though.
Yes, definitely. But it's like the
potential's there.
The announcer talking to you the whole time, you were just like, it was just felt like Crackdown, and it felt like the sequel you really wanted instead of Crackdown 2. You were just like, yes, this is what I want. This is going to be it. This is going to be great. I can't wait. Crackdown, motherfuckers. Like, I can't wait to sit there in multiplayer with everybody and just blow something up and be like, hey, Vern, we're going to take this building down, collapse that one, and that way they both land on that building and kill that guy. It's going to be great.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to be playing, it's going to be like a cat and mouse type game, but you'll also be hiding, So if you're trying to hide in a building and no one knows where you are, well, they're going to start taking down buildings until it kills you. So you can't hide forever. That's pretty cool.
And all the transforming vehicles are still there. Like, everything's there. It's just like, I'm so pumped for Crackdown. Like, I didn't think I'd be this excited, but seeing that demo just, like, got all the nostalgia built up in me. Because I'm the guy that literally, before they added keys to the city, is I would go to the oil rig place and pick up every single gas can from everywhere around the place just to blow it up in one giant explosion.
But we did find out that this multiplayer mode is its own separate mode. So there is a single-player campaign. Well, there's a campaign to the game that can be played with up to 4-player co-op.
Yes.
And this particular mode will not require
the cloud. Yeah.
Yes.
And I formally retract my prediction that it will be a free-to-play.
Well, because you're wrong.
You can't formally retract when you're wrong.
No. To be fair.
Look, I know I didn't win the lottery numbers and I chose the wrong ones, but I'd like to refund this ticket for the right numbers because I meant to pick those.
You can't retract it. You said it and you were wrong.
Yeah, no, but that's fine. But I'm admitting that I was wrong.
No, just say I admit that I was wrong.
But,
you can admit, but you can't retract. You got to understand this, Steve. You can admit you were wrong, and I'll back you for that. But you can't retract your statement of...
I was wrong. I won't be wrong about Sea of Thieves. I'll double it down on Sea of Thieves.
I don't think you are, because it's PC as well. And Prophecy says $60 for Crackdown for sure, so I think he's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was pleased with what I saw. I wasn't too impressed that it started to get... Thanks, Orbs. I appreciate the support.
At least one person believes you, Steve.
when I started watching it, then all of a sudden it was going into like some sort of dev diary, and I was like, oh no. But then they sort of put it around, and then they started to show stuff off, and I was like, okay, this is fine.
Well, the rumor is we're going to see more about it on the Xbox Daily shows.
Yeah.
Oh, so that could be interesting.
Now, there was a cool gift I saw on NeoGAF of one of the agents shooting a concrete wall, and he was like writing into it, and you could see it slowly destroying the wall. It looked really freaking awesome.
That was really neat.
The other thing,
okay, sorry, continue.
That Dave Jones came out and said that the developer is Reagent Games.
Yes.
I don't want to sort of,
which you were right about,
plug myself, but I did do some investigating a few months ago and found Reagent Games, which was linked to him, and it turned out that they were in fact working on Crackdown. So
yeah, Steve was right about that.
I was right about several things, just not free to play.
Yeah.
So it was good. There's a bit of vindication.
What was cool about this?
Do you want to retract anything before it becomes false? I'm just asking now before we get more announcements.
You can't. Okay, Quantum Break and both Crackdown are exclusive to Xbox One and are not being released on PC. That's another thing we did learn. So
I'm surprised though.
Did someone specifically say that?
No, but they didn't announce it that way like they have for everything else they announce. They've been announcing Windows 10 and Xbox for just about everything.
And they're not hiding it.
And they're not for those two. It says Xbox One exclusive.
But I can see why they're doing that. Okay? In my opinion, they've got a problem that they announced all these games that were coming first on Xbox One, and also the development processes were just, this is the box, you make this box, you make it for this, and that's where your development resources go. The problem that they've got is that if they then start announcing all of these Xbox One exclusives for PC later, but still for day one, you're going to upset the fans. And that's just how it is. So what I think that you'll see is this later down the line, you'll see ports, but everything going forwards will be Xbox One and PC. But I don't think that they feel that they can go back on Xbox One exclusive. They'll change. They'll
I think
later.
I think Quantum Break and I think Crackdown will stay on Xbox One. I get the feeling they're not coming to PC. I think what they're doing with PC is putting multiplayer games on PC.
But Crackdown
if they do
big multiplayer, cloud.
I think they'll get a year out of it. I think it'll be a year exclusive to the console. Like if it was within 6 months, they would have announced it for both. But if they do put it, it'll be a year out, and then they'll launch it on Windows 10.
I don't know. I don't.
It'll be more like Tomb Raider. I agree with you, Vern. I don't think it'll go. But
because
if they
Forza Horizon 2, Forza Horizon isn't coming to PC.
No.
But Phil has already said that he doesn't think that traditional Forzas like that work on PC. I think it's much more likely.
Why would you think Crackdown would?
Why not? Because
no.
I
want to argue your side real quick. Just cause.
Yeah, I mean.
No. Literally, the game Just Cause 3. That game has like the hugest PC community of all time.
Yeah,
it is literally Crackdown on steroids anyway. But we'll talk about Just Cause in a little bit.
I get the feeling if a game has either a very strong multiplayer component to where that's the real meat of the game, like it looks like we're seeing for Sea of Thieves and Fable Legends and Killer Instinct, which has the whole MOBA thing kind of going on as far as the payment style is concerned. Those are all very PC friendly. That's why I think games like Quantum Break and Crackdown may likely not hit PC, or if they do, it's going to be a long time after. It's not going to be a day and date at all.
And I think
they own the IP,
and I think it's the sales numbers too, Vern.
And they own the IP, but even Sunset Overdrive isn't coming to PC, it looks like. So
no, but let's say if Quantum Break tanks on Xbox One, it's coming to PC
to pick up some extra sales. Yeah, I could see that happening.
But then if it does well on Xbox One, you could think, well, we could get even more money off PC.
I think it's more likely if it's about tanking.
No. If it blows up like Gears of War did for some reason, if it's a big hit and it's something they could bring out every couple of years and make a lot of money off of, they're not going to bring that. Yeah, they're not going. They're not going to bring that to PC.
What do you think Remedy would be able to make in a couple of years?
Another Quantum Break.
Remedy's going to start working on an emotional adventure for Flight Simulator 2017.
Remedy can put out games a lot faster if they're not trying to create new IPs every time they make a game. So
Yeah.
I don't think
They're not trying to do an expansive new world.
It's not the same thing. Yeah, I mean they'll know how to make a game.
Still think that they'd need at least 3 years.
Maybe.
No, I probably agree.
PC. If it does really well on console, I don't see it coming to PC. Because they're going to want people to have a reason to buy next Xbox for the next Quantum Break. I mean, it's like what they're doing with Gears of War and Halo. They'll bring those games eventually to PC in certain cases, but it's not going to be a primary platform ever.
Like Halo 5's not coming to PC. It's just not. It's not going to happen. Halo, what is it, Online or whatever, that the Russian thing is? I bet that launches worldwide.
Or Master Chief Collection might eventually come, and then they'll bring Halo 5 a long way down the road,
Yeah.
Or like Gears. I don't see Gears of War 4 coming to PC.
No.
But Rod hinted at it at the PC show. He was asked about it, and he was like, "We'll see."
Yeah, after
they announced Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition for PC, which I know is a bit different because Gears 1 was on PC, but it's and they keep talking about how the Coalition and Turn 10 are working on DX12.
DX12, yeah. So maybe that happens, but they didn't announce it. Yeah. And they flat out announced it for other games. So it's not happening anytime soon.
All right, let's get back on track. Crackdown, people. Looks amazing. I can't wait. That is probably...
Looks awesome.
It's... Oh my god. I want to say it's the top game for me for 2016. But Quantum Break also looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's Quantum Break.
I don't know if I could choose one of... Because I have this nostalgia for Crackdown. Like, I love it. I want to play it. But 2016 looks fucking amazing so far. Talking about another 2016 game. Scalebound gameplay demo was showed next holiday 2016.
I feel good about this, too. Because I was talking about how I think, hey, maybe this is going to be an open world RPG. And a couple people were telling me, no way. I said, I think it might be because Kamiya came out and said, or at least there was like a day ago or 2 days ago, IGN, it was yesterday, right? IGN did the article about it, and it mentioned something about Kamiya finally getting this game to happen. And if it's a game that other publishers aren't picking up for some reason, more than likely it's large in scope. So that's why I was thinking, hey, maybe it actually is an RPG. And guess what? It's an action RPG. So
and it looked phenomenal.
Yes.
Oh my word. I tell you what, it's just... I have the same thoughts about this, similar thoughts about this as I did people complaining about the Gears 4 trailer at E3. Right, it's a year plus out. Okay, and what Gears showed was on a slightly smaller scale, but in my opinion, still a good announcement thing.
It was a vertical slice, without a doubt.
Exactly, but and so is this. But this was a big action scene.
Mm-hmm.
It showed the combat, showed the characters. Okay, the script doesn't exactly seem like it's going to win any major writing awards, but but just all the fighting and the way you could tell the dragon to go and do things, and you fight the people, and then that other. What was the thing that came out? The other beast thing, and then the dragon just wrecked him, and then the guy
with
wrecked
fire
him.
And all that. Yeah.
And it was like, and then I watched the IGN extended,
which was way better.
Because what they did was they cut, like, sort of, was it like a 2 or 3 minute section?
Yeah, the whole section in the middle.
And then on the actual in the actual show, they cut that section out to show a trailer that actually skips right to the very end to announce 4-player co-op, which is also something else I predicted, by the way.
You don't have to retract it, do you?
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
He was right. Since he was right, he doesn't have to retract it.
He's confused about what you can and can't retract. If you get it right, you don't. Just make it.
Anyway, so it just looked big, large scale, big. Because dragons aren't, they're huge animals, beasts,
and the worlds are huge in this game too. So
I want it kind of like The Witcher in the sense that in The Witcher, you can sort of walk around and all of a sudden you'll just find these, in comparison to the size of Geralt, you'll find these big sort of creatures that you have to fight and take down. if you want to. And I'm
I
really
think we'll
hoping
get
for similar
that,
sort of
but I
thing.
don't think the scope is going to be anywhere near The Witcher just because of the development time. And this is the first time Platinum Games is making a game this size, this scope. So I'm getting the feeling it's going to be not quite as big as a typical action RPG, but still pretty massive.
I just meant that, like, you can sort of go around and fight these other
Yeah,
beasts.
yeah.
That
You
sort
can
of thing.
see an influence from tons of different games. You see a little bit of Monster Hunter influence, a little bit of Dragon's Dogma influence. You see quite a lot of influence from Xenoblade, as far as at least I feel as far as the art direction and the world building, and I mean like geometry, not necessarily lore. So it's a pretty interesting looking game.
And it had loot, and I like loot. Although I always found it weird how, like, when they find these like treasure chests or whatever they have in these specific games, like he walks up to it and like kicks it. I was like, that's the least natural motion you could possibly come up with.
But it's very Japanese and kind of charming in its own right.
No,
Yeah.
look, we got to pause real quick because when he kicked that chest with his foot, I celebrated. I was like, yes, we finally got the game with the kicking foot because it's such a Japanese thing to do.
Exactly,
It's
that's what I liked about it.
Awful and terrible in every American way. He didn't bend over. He just went and kicked it, and it opened. I was stoked when I saw it.
And you know what?
It made me so happy.
In the original CG trailer, I thought the headphones thing was like completely stupid, but it worked. It actually worked in this game. It is a really cool way to make battle music start. The idea that, okay, I'm going to put the headphones on and start jamming while I fight monsters.
Because
that was
not?
really, really cool.
Why not? Yeah. If you're going to have a realistic reason you're going to have battle music, it works. It makes sense.
Looks like there are a bunch of different weapon types too. When they showed the 4-player co-op section, they all had different weapons. Like the main character in the game had the sword and shield, but then you saw another person with a broadsword, and he was using a bow and arrow at different points. So it looks like there's a lot of different ways to attack, a lot of different forms of combat in the game. So.
All right.
Did he also target, he marked one of the beasts, kind of like you do in the Monster Hunter games? Was that what he did in the beginning of the demo, when he first came across that other beast?
Yeah, I think he did do something like that.
It's like a mark, kind of like Monster Hunter. So I wonder if that's going to happen. As far as maybe if you mark a monster, it can run away and then you can find it again.
I just like graphically it looks so good, and okay, the frame rate wasn't locked 30 and there was some popping. I don't give a shit. It looked damn good.
It did.
I'm gonna be feasting on this game like that dragon. It's gonna be feasting on his foes.
They got over a year. They're gonna optimize this game. It's gonna run fine.
I will say, by the way, Holiday 16. I'm not buying that. I reckon they're going to shift it like they did Quantum Break.
Yeah, no, I think they might hit it. I think what's going to happen is they're either going to focus on getting Crackdown or Scalebound out in time. One or the other will make it, and then one or the other will be in early 2017.
But Crackdown, they only said that there's multiplayer with Summer 16. I don't think Crackdown is actually coming out in 2016.
Look, Steve,
you think it's a multiplayer open beta?
Yeah.
I don't care what the fuck it is. I cannot wait to play with y'all and tear down a building. That's all that I care about.
Well,
the best part of Crackdown was always Keys to the City. It was. I enjoyed Crackdown originally. It was a great game. You had fun in multiplayer. But once that Keys to the City came out and they just let you do whatever the fuck you wanted, that's where Crackdown got 90% of its enjoyment. It was just let's go do some stupid shit. That's what it was all about.
I feel like Microsoft's okay, we may be able to get Scalebound out, we might be able to get Crackdown out, we might be able to get Sea of Thieves out, so let's just go for it, and if we gotta delay one or two of them, we will. Yeah. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from it, because they know they have Gears, which is definitely going to come out in 2016. Yep. So,
Just a quick thing on Crackdown. Was anyone kind of surprised that they did, in the end, decide to call it Crackdown 3?
Yes.
Because I thought they
would pretend like Crackdown 2 didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to do.
I'm glad they didn't ignore it, though.
But it's a
Like,
new city, though. This isn't the same city
Yeah.
as Crackdown 1 and 2, so...
Well, maybe what was it? Pacific City? Was that
Something
it?
like that, yeah.
and let's
Maybe
be
that-
honest, Crackdown 2 didn't sell at all, except for people that never played Crackdown 1.
I'm
It was
pretty
rushed
sure
out.
actually it's better than people thought it did. It just
It just
wasn't
didn't
as
review
good.
well.
It didn't review well, but it didn't sell giant numbers. Like, it was rushed, and
It
that's
hurt the
why-
brand.
Yeah,
It definitely hurt the brand because it wasn't very good.
Mm.
It wasn't as good. But then what do you expect when you give a brand new development team 13 months to get a game out? I mean, ultimately that was all exclusively on Microsoft.
Yep.
So, but this one does seem like it's getting plenty of time. So,
all right. Well, moving on. Let's talk about the Xbox One gets full DVR functionality in 2016.
Yay!
So instead of sitting there being stuck, going, "Hey, Vern, like I can watch over-the-air content," and
This is only for over-the-air content,
I
though,
can
right?
pause it for 30 minutes. Yeah, it's only for over-the-air. It's not going to record what's on your HDMI.
Right.
Even though they were showing like some weird shows to show up on your like fucking over-the-air content, but like they were Scrubs. They showed, I think they showed. I don't know. There were just weird shows in the DVR that I didn't think were on over the air. But it is announced just for over the air channels, not.
I didn't watch this section, or I didn't remember. Can you pause live TV?
Yes.
With it? Oh, well, you can already pause live TV.
You can already
with
pause live TV
yeah,
up
that's
to
right.
30 minutes. But
Right.
this, as long as your console's on standby mode, it'll record your shows in the background even when you're playing games. Or when it's off. Not off, but when it's in standby mode. It'll just record your TV shows. If you're on your Windows 10 device in your house, you can just pull it up. You can download the shows onto your Surface or your laptop, have it on it so you can go on a plane flight, watch your shows
Yeah.
on the plane, and like not have to worry about it. It's all right there.
I'm assuming you can stream from Xbox to Xbox as well.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Like almost a community DVR. Like it would.
Yeah, that'd be really
figure out-
nice.
yeah. I didn't pay attention. Did they say you could hook up an external specifically for this, just to have a external
Yeah,
DVR?
I saw Mike Ibarra mention something about it not limiting the amount of hard drive space you have for recording, but I didn't read whether or not you have to partition a separate hard drive or not. Because I mean, there's always the chance that they might force you to partition a hard drive, like a separate hard drive to record on, and not let you use, I guess, the 500 gigabyte if you're already using an external for games,
Yeah.
So hopefully they let you use the internal one along with whatever data is saved on it, and don't make you have to partition or reformat a whole new hard drive. I guess we'll see. If it's not launched, they'll probably figure out a way to get it working later.
All right. In the video they're showing off. I'm playing video as we talk. And it's the next thing on the news is the Xbox One's chat pad. You plug it right into the bottom. You get your audio out, and you can just sit there and BS around with it.
Mm-hmm.
It has 2 custom buttons that you can assign to whatever you want. So pretty much anybody that wanted a screenshot button, there it is. But you can assign it to do whatever. Like it doesn't have a set purpose actually.
There's one issue with the chat pad I'm noticing.
What's that?
it's price.
You can't use the price is $35, which is ridiculous. But also the bundled headset with the launch consoles, not the ones currently coming out, will not plug into that.
Wait, I thought they said it was compatible with all controllers.
It is, but the headset won't plug into the chat pad.
Oh, I see
You
what
need a
you're
regular
saying.
3.5 jack headset to
Yeah.
go into the chat pad. Yeah.
Oh, didn't they? Doesn't include. But they had this problem with the Xbox 360 one that the headset wasn't compatible, so they just chucked in another cheap headset.
Yeah, they may
They
just go
probably
ahead
will.
and throw. They might have to do that. Yeah.
So I think maybe that explains why it's £35 because obviously the Xbox One headset is such a premium product.
It's nicer. Yeah. I mean, you'll be able to use the official stereo headset.
Quick question. Was that sarcasm?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sarcasm, but kind of not at the same time.
No, I mean, compared to Sony's headset, yes,
it
it's
is really
fucking
nice.
premium.
Yeah.
It's fucking gorgeous.
It's like it's made out
made
of
of
solid
gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a headset, it is like, it's okay.
And it's definitely like world-class packaging too.
Yeah.
It's all soft and fuzzy in the inside, like it's an engagement ring or something.
All right. While we're on the subject in the video, all future Xbox 360 games with gold titles will be backwards compatible with the Xbox One at launch. That's right. So go ahead and click the button, download every single time you see anything on games with gold, no matter what it is, because it'll just work.
So does this mean starting in November?
It seems that they meant starting in September.
Okay.
I would go ahead and still download everything. Like, don't even think about it. Just go
I'm just
ahead
curious.
and do it.
Just,
I can't imagine they care about getting the Metro games. You know.
Yeah.
And I think people are forgetting. This is the nice thing about the chat pad, though, is with the Xbox controller working with Windows 10 so well, with the audio going through the headset or through the controller, having a keyboard chat pad on an Xbox One controller and you hooked it up to your TV, that could really help you out if you're playing like a first or like just anything on a PC game.
HTPCs, yeah, that'll be really nice.
Just to be able to talk in the room chat and not have to sit there and have a keyboard beside you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, $35 is it's a little steep. But
yeah,
wasn't the original chat pad the same price?
I want to say it was 39 even, maybe. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was 30. I think it was 30.
So with inflation, and I don't know. It's still a chat pad. It's a little expensive. But I told y'all earlier, I'm just going to use Cortana to do dictation. Like, I got Connects everywhere. Like, and Cortana looks fucking amazing. So I don't think I'm going to pick up a chat pad. I did for the 360. It was pretty awesome, but I think I'm going to just go pure Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. No, we talked about that. Backwards compatibility in Windows 10 come in November.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty awesome. Killer Instinct Season 3 coming March 2016. And today, we got a Battletoads character.
We did.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah, I'm downloading it right now. Or at least I was downloading it right before the podcast, so it should be done by now.
Oh, I was going to download that, actually.
That is so fucking awesome. Like, we were trying to figure out where they were going to stick Battletoads characters. And it makes sense to put them in KI.
Everywhere.
But it really makes sense to put it into KI, because it's already dumb. Like, it's a joke anyway of a game. Like, not as a game, but as a, like how they treat their characters and everything. It's like it was a bunch of like 80 movies knockoff, so it makes sense to throw some old games in there just to be like, yeah, and Battletoads. He's going to be in there.
It feels like Microsoft's putting Battletoads everywhere they can, but in an actual brand new game at this point. So
they're just like, y'all love Battletoads, so
but we don't trust that a new game will do that well, so we'll just put them in everything else.
No, maybe they're just trying to market it to make people
so.
really love the idea. Instead of just like regular people, like instead of the hardcore going Battletoads, that they're like, hey, all you people that have been screaming Battletoads, let's build it up. Let's build up the hype. Let's get people's nostalgia built up a little bit. And that way when we do release a Battletoads game, it just doesn't crash and burn instantly and we go, why the fuck did we do this?
They really need to do it, though. It's a good IP. I mean, I don't know how the games will turn out, but this is a strong IP still, because they're likable characters. So
now, to download the Battletoads thing, did you have to do anything special, or did it just update the game?
It just updated the game.
Okay.
I didn't look in my DLC to see if it popped up in that section off to the right, though. So I'll check that out later.
Elite Dangerous got a patch. That's all I know.
It did. It's got the multiplayer PvP mode.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe so. And also, they announced when the Windows 10 is coming to Xbox. I don't see the notes here. Oh, you said it in backwards compatibility and Windows 10 in November. Okay, I didn't realize that.
It's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, but and Mikey Barra also said that they are hoping to have
Preview,
have it in preview in
September.
Which is I want it now.
Yeah, but 2 months before, that's pretty good. That's what they need too.
It is. I want it now.
They need it right in the beginning of September. That way they can test it for a long time, and it goes nice and smoothly once everyone buys their Xboxes in November.
You had to either boot up Battletoads in Rare Replay or buy something in KI to get it,
Yes.
according to Michael. All right. Well, we've all bought something in KI, so we'll all get it.
Oh, I'll get it through
Yeah.
Rare Replay.
All right. Lots of indies that are first on Xbox is what Jason wrote. All caps, people.
What were the big ones? Cities XL was one of them.
Somebody just posted it. Cobalt, right?
Cobalt is not an idea Xbox game.
No,
Arc.
that's published by Microsoft, and it's exclusive to Xbox One on consoles, at least.
Cobalt was a game that Mojang and Oxay, I don't know how you pronounce it, Oxay Studio were working on for the buyout, and Mojang owned it because I think it was sort of one of those projects that not just like, here's a load of money because it's got too much and the game costs a little. So then obviously when the buyout happened, because it was announced at Gamescom 2013, and just no one's seen it since. And at this point, they've sort of announced it, and it's still an Xbox thing, which is the reason why it's exclusive. And it sounds cool, actually. They only talked about single player, about couch co-op, but it does actually have online co-op too. So I don't know why they neglected to mention that.
There was some creepy horror game they announced too. What's it called? Just they did. Oh yeah, Cities Skylines. That's what it was. That was that game. Also, Train Simulator, Thimbleweed Park, which is the Ron Gilbert game, kind of like the Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island games. And I don't remember the other game. It was kind of creepy looking. Had a BioShock thing going on.
We Happy Few.
We Happy Few. Yeah, that looked really cool.
Yes, so that's made by Compulsion Games, who did Contrast, which
okay.
So I reviewed that when it came to Xbox One, and it's one of those games I thought I'd quite like, be alright, and I was shocked. I loved it. It wasn't
really
particularly long.
I had a hard time getting into it.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I liked the style. I don't know.
The artwork was cool. I'll have to try it again, because when I played it was on PS4 and it was at launch and it was quite buggy, so I just kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, I mean the Xbox One version, one of those things where because I think Microsoft was sort of not really in many places with their sort of indie program at the time, so it just didn't end up happening. But it did actually, it benefit from coming later.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that was a positive of being second.
And plus, Contrast was the game that took Drive Club's place, so I think a lot of people were kind of upset. They're like, I don't want Contrast.
Yeah, you got a much better game. Trust me.
It's true. But there were some early access things announced too, right?
There's Sheltered is one of them which is actually on the store now. Which is funny because I backed it on Kickstarter for like £5 or something, and I got my code through today for the PC early access, and I'm literally playing it as I talk to you now. So basically, there's been some sort of nuclear event or something. I think it's a bit like Fallout Shelter, really.
It's Fallout Shelter, yeah.
Yeah, only this was actually announced first. But and obviously, so you have like a family of 4, and you go into the shelter, and you have to keep them alive. You can send them on expeditions and stuff, but you have sort of resources. You craft things, and you can sort of build extra rooms and all that other stuff. I'm playing the PC version. I don't know what the Xbox version's like, but this seems really fun, getting used to the expeditions and stuff. Because the way that it works is that, you send people on expeditions, but you have to find like buildings and stuff. And then obviously you can sort of plunder them for resources, and then you can trade with people, you can fight people, you can make guns, you have electricity and all that sort of stuff. And you have to sort of monitor all their sort of, play like The Sims kind of thing, like they're sleeping, they're eating, the thirst,
Right.
cleanliness. So it's a really interesting game. I believe it's $15 on the Xbox One store, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's up now in preview.
It is 15. I saw it earlier.
All right, cool. And so We Happy Few is also coming to preview, as is, was it Ark Survival Evolved?
Yes. Yeah, which is it looked incredible.
The game where you can ride on dinosaurs.
Yeah, but this trailer looked even better than the last one.
Yeah, I don't think that you. Thing is, game preview. The idea, it's not a problem. But I think that you can get away with on PC releasing a game in a much rougher state than you can on console.
No, but how they're doing it on console is fair. Like you get a demo, you can try it for like an hour, and if you don't want to back it, you don't pay for it, and it's fair enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I will say Elite Dangerous is kind of weird, and the demo's not worth it because it doesn't tell you what the game is, and I wish they would have shown you a little bit more.
But Ark is in a really early state compared to the other stuff that's in game preview right now. Yeah. So that's why they're going to wait until the winter time, probably, to bring it out to preview on Xbox One. Yeah.
Well, not finished, that's the wrong word. A little less buggy and a little, I don't know, more something to do.
Yeah, I do think that with Elite Dangerous, it's one of those occasions where they shouldn't force it to be, you get an hour. It should be, you have to have at least an hour. Because I know it'd be funny, for some games, an hour would be a decent chunk of the game, or it would be sufficient. But with Elite Dangerous, apparently you can't even get through all the tutorials in an hour.
No, the problem you can only do tutorials. You can only do the tutorials. The problem isn't the hour. Like, I think the hour's fine. I think that's fair. Because it's the full game for an hour. As long as it's the full game for an hour. Like, it needs to be, let me go out and fly around in space for an hour and bullshit around. And
it doesn't let you do that, though.
No. Which, the only reason I brought that up was because I don't want people to, from playing I would have never bought it off of the demo that I got to play. But after watching people play it online and doing other things, it was worth picking up. And it's just not. I want them to make it a little bit more strict on devs on what that hour means. And it should be full game access, not tutorials.
Right. I agree. Were there any other indies? I think that's all of them, right? Oh, no, they also announced that Beyond Eyes is available now. So.
Yeah. Which obviously makes you quite happy, Vern, because you were quite interested.
I already played it for about 45 minutes or so.
Oh, you bought it?
Yep. So if you're into walking simulators, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, it looks really, really great, though. And it's pretty clever. Like how the things that are heard in the distance look different than when you get up close to them. So it's pretty clever with that kind of design, but it's not much of a game. I mean, it is a walking simulator. You literally walk everywhere, and that's it.
Yeah, I've been playing, not to do what you've been playing, but I've been playing Submerged. And I think it's the kind of thing where, and I also play The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. There's no action, and that's not a problem. But when you play a lot of games like I do, then you keep playing games that are just kind of like, they're experiences, they're not action things. And then you get to another one, and you just think, I'm kind of right now just a bit burnt out on that.
Yeah, it's kind of something you play in between a game and another game. It's not something you just only play. So
yeah.
All right, I just wanted to point something out. Zorb said that's why I didn't buy it, Dustin. I'm not endorsing anybody buying Elite Dangerous. It is very early. You should definitely watch plenty of videos before spending your money on it. And making sure something you're going to want to do. Don't just go by, oh, Dustin said it's good. It's playable. I don't want you to take my opinion like that. I enjoyed what I've played so far, but it's still extremely early, and I look at it as just really early access. Like just
Oh, and there was one developer that's releasing like 3 or 4 games first on Xbox One. I forgot the name of the developer though.
They were a German developer, and I'll be honest, they didn't show the games. They just
they just announced them. Yeah.
Yeah. They just said these are the games, and there was one of them that people couldn't actually work out what the game title was because one of the logo kind of clipped over one of the letters.
That's funny.
All right, I just wanted to throw this out there. I'm looking at KI. It just updated, and I got the Battletoads character now. I got Rash, but there's a second spot with just 3 question marks on it.
Yeah, the question is for random.
Is it random?
Yeah, it's to pick a random fighter.
I'm just making sure. I didn't know if that was. I didn't remember that being there.
But they did announce that Season 3 will have guest characters, like plural, and Rash is like the first of the guest characters. So we should be getting 1 or 2 more, which I'm curious about.
And this tosses up a huge disclaimer saying, please note Rash's animations, moveset, and appearance are not final.
Yeah. They need to get the Arbiter in there.
That'd be awesome.
And use the energy sword. That would be great. It'd be perfect.
There are no costumes, by the way. You only have the one for Rash. Oh, no, never mind. There are. You got Red Rash and Green Rash. All right. Where are we? We need to talk about Halo.
We are on. Well, we already talked about Cobalt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Halo 5.
We're up to Halo 5.
Which was the absolute worst part of the conference.
Which is surprising.
Because I love Halo, but this was the worst part because they decided to shoutcast an entire match. And I understand why they did it because they were trying to hype up the.
Oh, they're hyping up
esports,
like a motherfucker. This is going to be one of the biggest esports games they've ever done.
But it didn't belong on stage at Gamescom.
It belonged after the after show.
Exactly. It should have been on Xbox Daily or something.
Yeah.
They could have. I'm not being funny. I know that all these things take time to make, like trailers and stuff. But I was, because they've got this whole Spartan Lock Master Chief thing going on, I was expecting them to show like a Master Chief trailer kind of thing. And I guess that they didn't because they want to keep that suspense kind of thing. But I was just a bit like, okay, if you want to do this, that's fine, but don't make it and it was like 8 minutes or something ridiculous.
Oh, so I go in, and they went ahead and didn't even show the whole Scalebound trailer. They made that cut. Well, they could have showed the entire Scalebound play sequence instead.
But the thing is, it's not so much that because they gave IGN the extended cut. I think that was part of the deal.
I guess, but there was also the DirectX 12 thing they did, which was a demo we had seen like twice already.
I think
that Square demo.
I think that they
felt like filler.
Kind of had. I think they're in a difficult position because there are games that they could have announced in that time, but they clearly didn't want to. And when I say could have, because there are games that we know exist that they haven't announced, but they obviously didn't want to, and they obviously kind of had this space that they needed to fill, so that's just kind of what they picked to do it with. I just thought that a shoutcast match was just not the way to do it.
Yeah, they could have highlighted some of those other indie titles instead of.
They could have had indie titles. They could have had.
Instead of just saying, "Hey, Beyond Eyes is available now," they could have actually showed another trailer or something.
Yeah, like even more Fallout. Or, I mean, I'm not being funny. I was expecting Fable Legends to have a section. I mean, I'm not being funny as much as I don't particularly really want to see any more Fable Legends.
It should have been there over that shoutcast.
Yeah, because well, they could have, or just a trailer or something. I mean, we're still waiting for them to give the final release date for the open beta. So,
and they don't have any more events to make a big deal about that. They just have to make the announcement now.
Yeah. So,
which is kind of goofy.
So, shown gigantic.
Or they might do it at Xbox Daily tomorrow or the day after. So.
Then they also spent quite a lot of time on Forza. And it's
Yes.
like I think that they had a really tightly packed first 2/3.
That was a nice trailer, though, the Forza trailer.
It's not that it wasn't a nice trailer. It's just they had a really tightly packed last 2/3, and then the final third was just, like they showed.
Here's this other stuff
Here's this other stuff. It's like this is 2015.
that we showed at E3 already. Yeah.
And it's like, the thing is that, okay, they showed us a new map in Halo, but it wasn't that exciting.
No.
So, yeah, they had a pacing problem, and also they had that Windows 10 section, which is just
Why was it there? Yeah.
just crap. Because they didn't show, like, the thing is, I thought that, what's her name? Poor Jasmine Lawrence. Like, I thought she was going to I wrote it down. I thought she was going to, like, step up on stage, and then, I felt like she was going to get to something. And they
She
showed
did.
they showed that Final Fantasy tech demo, and I thought, oh, maybe they'll at least announce, like, Final Fantasy 14 for Xbox One. No, maybe they'll announce, like, MCC or
They
something.
didn't do anything. She just came out and said the same thing we've heard at Build, and then again at E3 and the PC game.
I'll be honest, so I wrote down all the things that happened in the conference in case we needed it, and I literally just put Windows 10 crap.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
And then, there was like a really short, there was like Rainbow Six and Just Cause 3 trailers.
The Just Cause 3 trailer was awesome, though.
No, it was.
That was worth having there. The Dark Souls trailer was worth having there as well. That looked good. And then
what I'm
was
saying
the other
is
one?
that they could have spent more time on them in exchange. And that
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah,
trying
Rainbow Six felt like it didn't need to be there, though, to me.
I thought Homefront looked good.
It did. Yeah, we didn't talk about Homefront. That did look good.
Sorry, I don't want to keep firing off different things.
Well, it's not on the list here, though, on the notes,
No.
so
But,
it is worth talking about Homefront.
yeah, I mean,
Though it was a weird place to show it, because it was very America.
Yeah, it was definitely.
I mean, but it's been made in Europe, so
No, but even
Yeah.
Europeans are like America.
It really felt it felt like America game though, so it was kind of weird to show up at Gamescom.
because obviously, so they had the EA Access section for Halo, not for
No,
Halo,
for FIFA,
for FIFA, and then
and they said EA Access probably 20 times.
yeah, it's funny because what nobody realizes is that they did actually announce a European price drop
Yeah,
because the
369?
369 and the 1 terabyte is 399, but the 1 terabyte came in at 450 when it was announced, and it was weird. I didn't understand why they didn't go 349 for the FIFA bundle either.
yeah, that was kind of goofy. But both of them come with a month of EA Access. And
Was it a
FIFA
month? I couldn't
Public.
remember.
Yeah, it was just a month. No, it was a year for the 399 one for the one terabyte.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah,
I think.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, there was the bundle, and there was, you can play the game on September 17th.
hmm
And then, so Just Cause 3 comes with Just Cause 2, which we now know is going to be backwards compatible.
And it's already a
looked good.
Games with Gold game, though.
It was, but
Yeah.
the thing is that Phil Spencer, and I saw that we didn't talk about the Gears news that came out the day before. We can do that in a minute
Yeah.
if you. But the thing is that Phil Spencer kept saying, or said after the announcement, that he wanted to tell people to pick up the games with gold on 360, but he didn't want to draw attention to it.
Right.
So ultimately, people didn't pick the games up,
It's true.
and I think that the situation they've got is that, when they've got these marketing deals, they just turn around and say, look, if people have already got the games,
So what? Yeah.
because I think that what they'll actually find is that people don't have the games,
hmm
so they just think you would just give it to them. If they've got it, that's not much, well done. Thank you for listening.
hmm
But the rest of them didn't, so they're just giving them away for free. So, yeah, and Rainbow Six comes with Vegas 1 and 2.
Yeah, but since we're talking about backwards compatibility, we can mention that both Shadow Complex and Gears of War are now available for preview members to download and play using backwards compatibility. And Gears of War Ultimate Edition for anyone who plays it within like the first 6 months or something like that. The
up
first
to
5 months.
31st December.
Yeah. Anyone who plays it during that time period will receive codes for Gears of War 1, 2, 3, and Judgment.
Yep. Now, a lot of people have said, well, that's not really that great because all of them have been games with gold except for Gears 2, but
Not new players, new people who are buying
not
the
new
console.
players. Gears
Yeah.
2 wasn't, and it's a nice move.
It's a great move.
It's a good move because you just give people the games.
It becomes a collection.
Exactly, and it gives them everything, gives them the chance to play everything. Like, it's one of those, I don't understand how you could be annoyed about it. It's just a great move. I mean, it's quite generous. And I've seen people complain about PC players, but I don't care about PC players. It's a good move to be giving away these games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I assume that they're not going to be like the ultimate. The ultimate is probably a poor word to use. The Game of the Year editions or something with all the DLC. So they'll try and sell you some seasons passes or some crap. But
I own the DLC already though, so I'm all good.
Well, not be funny. I own them all digitally.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't own 2 digitally yet.
I'm not sure if I do. I may do. I'm not 100% sure. So so for me, I'm not gaining anything from it, but it's just a good move.
Mm-hmm.
At Dark Souls, they just showed a trailer, didn't they? A bit gameplay.
Yeah, but it was a gameplay trailer, so.
Yeah. So, but they didn't announce any sort of exclusive content.
It did look closer to Bloodborne. It was a lot faster paced. Art style looked closer to Bloodborne too.
Alright, guys.
So.
Before we continue on, I gotta restart the stream. For some reason, it keeps buffering, and hopefully we can get this fixed. Give me 1 second. Hopefully this doesn't stop the recording. If it does, this will be a 2-part episode. 1 second. Let's see what happens. Stop streaming. Don't stop recording. Don't stop recording. Just keep on recording. Maybe it'll stop streaming one day. It's loading. It's layouting. Come on.
It's a very exciting portion of the show.
Yeah.
For audio listeners.
Of course. I think we're even still streaming. I don't think... No, it should be off by now. I'm going to have to hit stop recording, I think.
No.
Right, 1 second.